lucky I had that pie this morning. Bloody hell. Aye, the chest straps just broke. Sun's out and everything. Yeah. We're not even digging here. We're not even digging deep. This is easy. There we have it, dog in a rucksack. This is the food that I feed Moss. It's made by a company called Eden. It's a British company based down in England. And when I first got Moss, I went on like what dog food or like best dog food. I was like looking on the internet for stuff like that. And on a couple of different websites, Eden scored in the top 3 basically, if not first place or second place most of the times at the time. It's a dry kibble, but it's extremely high quality. This is the original cuisine. They do a couple of different ones. They've got a fish and a game one. So it's now the thing with this is it's high protein. As you know, dogs are carnivores, so their diet should be predominantly meat based. We're omnivores, so we're like half and half. And then of course you've got herbivores like the cows outside. They don't eat any meat protein, it's all grasses and stuff. Hence, they've got big, massive, long intestines to extract the nutrients from it. We've got medium length ones, dogs have got short intestines. So, and a high stomach acid as well. That's one of the things. That's why they can drink like a lot of stream water and stuff, because they don't get ill, because their stomach acid is really strong and does things in that would make us ill. So to answer, like one of the questions was about, do I let Moss drink from streams? And yeah, I do. It's quite hard to stop them ultimately, and it's never done her any wrong, especially when you're talking about mountain streams in Scotland. Lowland water courses are standing water, puddles, maybe chemicals, and pesticides, petrols, whatever, loads of stuff. I'm more hesitant with that. Certainly running streams and in the countryside in Scotland I don't have a problem with. So back to Eden. As mentioned, dogs are carnivores, so they ought to be eating a high protein diet, something with a lot of meat. In the supermarket, all the dog food in there, the maximum you'll get is like 25% protein. You go to somewhere like Pets at Home where they've got loads of different dog food. I went and I looked, so I ran out once, and I went in there, the highest protein content I could find in any of the foods was 30%. So the other fillers, it's like rices and starchy carbs that aren't actually that, it's not what a dog's meant to eat. It's not as healthy for them. Ideally, you would feed a dog like just meats mostly, and probably like, I don't know about raw, but a predominantly like meat-based diet would be the best. But for convenience, this is a happy medium. It's a high quality kibble, 80% chicken, fish, duck, and egg. So mostly protein-based stuff, and 20% fruit and vegetables. And it says formulated without grain, gluten, or white potato, because white potato is a filler for a lot of other dog foods. Moss, so freshly prepared, free-run chicken, Scottish salmon, herring, duck, chicken liver. Look at all the good stuff that's in that. Now, I'm sure it does say it. I was looking at this one time, and maybe it was the first time I ever got it, and I think it is like that. I might be totally wrong with this, but I'm sure I read something that indicated that this was actually fit for human. All these things, all these foods are before being processed into the dry kibble, were fit for human consumption. So it's not even like rubbish meats that are going in. It's good stuff. Moss has thrived on this. Everyone comments on her coat, how healthy she is. This is what I've been feeding her the whole time. She's really thrived. So what she gets normally is one of these scoops a day. And this is just a cup I had lying about somewhere, but I just figured out with trial and error that a scoop of this a day is maintains her weight with what else she eats. Now, this, because it's high quality and it doesn't have a lot of bulk or fillers, you don't actually need as much volume of this. So if you're used to feeding them other dry kibble with a lot of fillers, you might feed them twice as much of that as you would of this stuff. So that's all Moss needs a day. This is a 15 kilogram bag, I think. I'm not joking. This lasts this is like 4 months or something. It is an expensive initial outlay, but if you work it out, cost per day, it's less than if you were to buy tinned or the little ashets of food from the supermarket. It's just, you know, you're maybe going to have to pay 60, 70 quid in a winner for this. But then you don't need to worry about it for 4 months. So let's see, 1 scoop. Normally I take some of this out, I keep it, because it's bigger, I put a bit of tape on it, fold it up, keep it somewhere dry, and normally I just fill up one of these, and this is what I keep the scoop in. So let's see, there's 1 scoop. Now remember, Moss is a 15 kilogram dog. So if we look at that, I'm feeding Moss just over 2 ounces, and what's that, about 60 grams, say, a day. So that's her daily measure, and she gets quite a few of these a day. She'll get 2 after her dinner, and generally what happens is I'll give her a bit of whatever I'm eating during the day, and when we're away walking, that's what I do as well. Whenever I stop somewhere, if I get like a cheeseburger, I'll get an extra burger and I'll give her the burger. I always try and top up her food when we're away. Now what I do when I'm camping though is that's just to give you an idea what her diet is normally a day. So that maintains her weight. 2 of these a day, 1 scoop of this a day, and bits and bobs of whatever I'm eating. That's what, you can break it up, you can give her 2 of these a day, but I normally just give her this when I get home from work, because she gets bits of treat and food in the morning, so she's eating a little through the day, then this is her main meal. It's not like she's not really only getting 1 meal a day, because she is eating throughout the day. What I do when I'm away camping is she gets, because I don't carry this scoop about, she gets 4 handfuls of this a day. So a handful is just literally like a handful like that. So she gets 1 of these in the morning for her breakfast. She gets 1 at 12 o'clock, between 12 and 1:30 for her lunch. And she gets 2 for her dinner. Let's see what that weighs. So you're looking at just under 5 ounces, you know, you're like 130 grams, say. So it's about 130 grams of food. In addition to that, though, what I found when I was away camping is that she needs the energy. Now, I'd actually brought along these Irish oats, quick cook, ready in 2 minutes. There's a little scoop that comes with it, and that's 30 grams. Measure 2 level scoops, 30 grams. I would give her 2 to 3 scoops of this in her little bowl, put water in, mix it up, and 1 handful of this in with the porridge. And sometimes I dried powder milk, sometimes I put that in. I try not to feed her dairy too much. It's not really that good for dogs. But sometimes I'd put that in because it's like a little sweetener, and it's more calories, because essentially I'm trying to pack the calories in with the dog. I already had this for me, so she got this as well. After dinner, she then got 2 of these. It's 7 per pack. So that's essentially 7 days worth there. In fact, we'll weigh that. So it's almost 550 grams. of this in weight. So our food does add up, you know, it is weighty. But if you were to try nutritionally, pack size wise, this is denser than a lot of kibble you'll get at the supermarket. So you require less volume, as I said, so it'll take up less volume in your bag, and it's just better gear.